I'm going to be showing you how you can create a contact form that you can insert in your WordPress website, and that will send you emails, or your visitors on your website will be able to put in their information, send a message, and then you will receive that message in your inbox. So let's get started. So this is a screen that I created on my website, and this is basically for a non-profit organization that we have, and I had really struggled with creating this and setting this up. So I just want to make this video nice and short and just to the point, so you guys can get how to make this basic layout and have it working. So let's get started. So the very first thing you're going to need is, of course, having a working WordPress site. And the very first thing you need to do is install a plugin. So we're going to go into the plugin section. I already have the plugin installed, but this is the plugin that you need, Contact Form 7. And all you have to do is click on Add New, and you can go ahead and search for it right here. So we can call it contact form, and once you search it, it should come up right here. So I already have it installed, so you're probably gonna have something like this. So you can click on install, and once it's done with the installation, you have to make sure you make it active. Now once you make it active, that's when you have to basically, you'll see it active just like that. Contact form 7 is active. Now you can go into settings. If you click on settings, it'll take us something like that. This is what's going to look like. Or you can always go directly from here. Once you install the plugin, you should see this contact right here, and if you click on it, it'll take you to the same place. Now I have already created a contact form right here, which is displayed on my website that I showed you guys earlier right here. So let's go ahead and edit this one and see what it looks like. So if I go on edit, there you go. It took a while. So once you go to edit, you will see these 4 tabs. You'll see some coding right here, but don't get panic. This is very simple. Anybody can create this. So I'll just go ahead and show it to you guys. So in my case, you can see in the coding it says text message first. So basically I have a placeholder. Placeholder is something like this, where you have this thing grayed out. So once you start typing here, this thing won't stay there, it'll go away. So if I see how it disappeared, so this is just a placeholder that's showing you what goes here, and that's what it means. First name, this is the coding name, and this is the actual name that gets displayed over here. So it says first space name. If you notice, there's no space here because in coding you don't need the space. And this is in the quotation and asterisk, this is something that you want to show up over there. So you can modify this particular line of code, and it'll change the text right here. So as you can see, email asterisk, asterisk meaning these are the required field. I made it required. This is not a required field. Then we have to drop down. So I'll show you guys how I did the drop down. So again, email, and the way you enter these, I'll show it to you guys as well. So same thing with the phone number, nothing here, and then these are the drop down menus. So let's go ahead and get rid of all this, and let me show it to you guys from here. So initially, so if you have a name that you require to have, right? So text, let's see which one. So let's see if you're creating something that has email. If this is a required field, you just click required. What do you want to call this? Email. Let me call this email, and I can go ahead and use this as a placeholder for the field. So default value is, this is what's going to show up over here. So let's say if I say email here, this is going to be the text, and this is going to be a recording. And you have to click on this, because if you don't click on this, this is going to show up over there, and once they start typing, the email address is going to continue from here. So that's not going to work out too good, so you definitely want to click on use this text as a placeholder for the field, and don't worry about any of this. So let's see, this is at the bottom. This is where it shows the code generated. So if you notice, this is the actual code. So see how I changed this over there, and it showed right here. So this is the actual code that is going to show up over there. And anything that you type here, test, see how it shows up over here. So let's leave this, and we're going to go ahead and insert tag, and you can see the code is right here. Next, if you want a telephone number, I can have phone number here, and you definitely want to click on this, and you can see this is how you generate the coding here. Now you can also have a drop-down menu, you can call this menu or whatever, and then you can have your different selections, so option 1 could be number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever you want to write over here. And if you notice, these are going to be the options. So any text that you write here is going to be the selection from the drop down, and you can click on allow multiple selection, or you can just leave it blank and just let them choose any one of those, so depending on what type of selection that you're doing. And normally if it's a required field, then you definitely want to click on required. If it's not, then just leave it there. So this is how I basically created this code. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it and just leave my code here. So this is how I basically did my coding, nothing you have to worry about. So once you're done with this, now let's come on to the messages. Messages is something that is probably going to be their default. And if you go to form, if you notice, these were the coding that we generated. So if you come on to messages, here's something I did. This is the message, sender's message was sent successfully. So this is a message that you get at the bottom of the screen. So if you come over here, when you send the message over here, there's a pop-up which says your message has been sent, and this is the message that is getting from here. But just to make it more personal, I put a first name there. So let me explain to you guys what these are. So if you go to the mail section, this is where you have to get things set up, and these things are basically the coding it got from here. So once you generate your form, what this is going to do is find, automatically is going to find out what tabs that you have selected from here, and it's going to generate a tag. So these are the tags that were generated based on your selection on the form. So as you can see on my form, I had text, I had email, for the person. I had like the first name placeholder. So if you can see over here, I have the first name placeholder, then I have email, phone number, ask a question, and message, and those 5 were the things that I have over here. So anyways, those were automatically created. So the trick is anywhere you put this, you copy this and you put it, it's going to personalize it for you. So that's what I have in the messages. I just put a right after thank you, I put this code. So it's going to automatically display thank you, the first name of the person who is filling out that form. So for example, Mr. Eddie is filling this form out. So he's going to put down his name, Eddie, his email address, phone number, and the message he's going to get is thank you, Eddie, for whatever the text says right here. Thank you, Eddie, your message has been sent. And then these are some of the other ones, if you have an error message and things like that. So I just include the first name, just to make it more personalized. The next on this one is very critical, is how to set this up. Now this is the most critical part. Anybody can create a form and play around with it. Very easy to do, as you can see. If you don't have this set up properly, things are not going to work for you. So 2 is basically the actual website domain name. So if you don't have a domain name and if you haven't hosted this is not going to work. So make sure your website is live and you have hosted it. In my case, this is the host website, and this is my email from that host website, info, right? So to info, make sure you put that email that you're using for the website. This is the text that you can have display on your site. So in my case, I wanted to show, anytime I receive an email, I wanted to show this text, so I know that this message is coming from that website. So because this is just a general email inbox that I have from my domain name that I normally check, and this is the email address for that. So anytime I get an email from the website, any visitors send me that email, it comes into this inbox, but it displays this message, that MCPPC website message. So I know that it's coming from my website, so it kind of gives me that pop-up for me to look into that. And then you have to put your email address in this format. Subject, message from MCPPC website, and this is a subject line for that, basically. So this is kind of like the name where it's coming from, and this is the actual subject. So I want the subject to say this particular one. Now you're probably wondering what this is. So if you recall these tags right here, ask a question, so ask a question comes right here. So depending on what their selection is, so for example, one of their selection from this one is ask a question or make a suggestion, right? Or anything, make a donation, on my email is gonna bring that make a donation, and then it says from is just a from text, and then it shows the first name of the sender of the message. So whoever send the message, let's see, whoever the first name is, Mr. Eddie in this case, so his name is going to be right here, his selection is going to be right here, and this is I'm going to receive this whole message with his selection and his first name. Reply to email, this is anytime you receive an email, the reply email, their email address is going to show up right here, because there is a section over here that requires them to put their email. This is a required field for them. And message body, so in the message body is basically the name of the first name of the sender who's sending it, Mr. Eddie, their email address, their phone number, their question, and their message. Everything is going to show up, and this is going to be the layout of your email inbox. So this is what this whole thing is. This needs to be set up properly. I normally don't select these, but you can if you want to, using HTML content and stuff. Now mail to is something that they're getting a response from the message. So whoever filled this out, send a message, they get a pop-up saying that their message has been sent. Now, as a confirmation, the system sends an email to them telling them that their message has been sent. Thank you for contacting, whatever you wanted to call, right? So in my case, this is a coding that you're going to use. You're going to send it to the email, and this is the email for the people whoever is sending this, it gets the email from here. From section, this remains the website that you're on, the actual website, the hosted website, and then this is your email for that website, same information that we had selected over here, right? So this is the server basically sending the email to the person, receiving the message as a thank you. And their subject line, they'll receive an email saying thank you for your message, and then just to make it personalized, we put the same first name tag over here from this code that we talked about earlier, and this kind of like give them a personalized touch. So anytime they receive a message, it says thank you for your message, Mr. Eddie or Eddie. Reply to, of course, this is a section that they can reply to if they want to that message. And then we have a message body, it says, whatever you want to call it, to say hi, hello, their first name, so this is again more personalized in this case. So they're going to get the message and then their first name, and then thank you for the message to whatever organization that you're sending it to. And then you can, put something in there. This is just a second email that they're receiving. This is the first email that is being sent to you, on behalf of the sender, after filling out this form. So again, a two-way process, right? When they fill it out, they send a message that comes to you, and they also get an email, which we covered in the second part of this. So this is the main setup, for the mail section. Then the message section we already talked about. There's not much here. You don't really have to modify any of this. You can play around with the settings. And then we have additional settings that I normally don't cover that. So once you save this, you're gonna get a message, that the contact form has been saved. Mine is already saved, so I'm not gonna save it. Once you create the contact form, now let me show you how you can insert it in your WordPress. So let's go to our WordPress. You go to the pages section, and hopefully you have a contact or any page that you want to insert it to. So since I'm using a different theme, I'm editing in Elementor, so I'm going to go ahead and load this part, and inserting it is very, very, very simple. So here you can see this is my form, right? This is the actual live website that I'm on, and this is the editing version of that page. So all you have to do is insert it, form. So let's go ahead and let me show you guys a test. So I'm going to go ahead and insert it one more time here. So since you guys already installed that plugin, it should show up on your widget. So let's see, let's go ahead and type contact form, so you can see contact form shows up right here. And before you can drag it, let's go ahead and select the theme. So I want it to be in the center, so I'm going to go ahead and select something like this, or you can even do this one if you want it like more smaller, but I think this is good for me. And once you insert it, so you can see a thin insert comes right here. What you can do is you can click on here on the plus sign, and let's go ahead and search our contact form again, and let's go ahead and drag it. So I'm going to go ahead and drag it right here, and now you can see this is blank right now, so you don't see anything. And the reason is because you haven't selected a form yet. You can have multiple forms in there. So in my case, I already have it saved, and this is the name. So I'm going to go ahead and select this, and bingo, that form shows up right here. And this is exactly a replica to this one. And I have this message, so you can insert anything on top, as a text, if you really want to, like over here, or you can even drag and drop it over here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, and now you can make changes to this particular form, right by right clicking it, making it editing, and add colors and whatever. So I'm not going to show you all that. That's a editing part for the website, but I just wanted to show you how you can create a form and insert it. So that's pretty much it, guys. Contact forms works pretty best. If you follow my guide, your contact should definitely be working. You should be receiving an email. The good part about the contact form is anytime there is an error, you will see some kind of error saying that, hey, something is definitely not right. If your code is not correct or something, it's just not going to save it. It's going to give you the error message. So, but anyways, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this helps you guys create your contact form. And guys, if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Thank you.